Hey, Sven here. The battle of the image generators continues. Up until a few months ago, I always used Flux Ultra to generate images. Then at some point, OpenAI released GPT-Image, which I switched to in most cases. And now Black Forest Labs has responded with Flux Context. This is a model that allows you to both edit and generate images. And then I realized that although I had already done some image tests with GPT-Image, I hadn't yet compared my standard images, the ones I used last year for that big comparison test with those 6 image generators. So I thought, okay, I want to try out Flux Context anyway, so I'll use the same prompts as back then and also put GPT-Image side by side for comparison. And yeah, let's just see what comes out of it, and above all, how these two systems compare to the others I looked at. I think it was in December. I'm Sven, and I'm an entrepreneur. I've been working on process optimization and quality for over 33 years, not just in business, but in all areas of life. And much of what I can do today, I learned through experience and trial and error, so I know what really works. In my videos, I want to show you how you can use intelligent process automation profitably for yourself and your business. And if you're not quite sure where to start, or if you just have any questions, then book a free call with me. You'll find the link for that below this video. So let's get started. Let's take a quick look at this image comparison I made last year. Yes, it was in December. That's when I compared these 6 systems: Flux, Stable Diffusion, Recraft, Ideogram, Midjourney, and Luma, and then generated these images with each of them. So that means I had a corresponding prompt here and then compared the results in this table. And as you can see here, they are already extremely different. And now I'm really curious to see what happens when I use these same prompts with these 2 systems, that is, with Black Forest Lab with Context. Here in the overview, we can see which models are available. First, there's Flux Context Dev, which is only for editing. We won't be looking at that today. Then we have Context Pro, which is the fastest model and also follows the prompt very well. And then there's Context Max, which offers the best quality, and here it also says maximum prompt adherence, meaning it pays the closest attention to the prompt. However, it is also twice as expensive as Context Pro. But let's see what these 2 can do. And if we take a look at the API, it's not much different from usual. That means we simply have Flux Context Pro and Flux Context Max here. Then, since we are generating an image, all that we truly need is the prompt itself. We also require the specific aspect ratio, and we will utilize the JPEG format along with this particular safety tolerance setting. So what has changed here compared to the older models, although this was already the case with Ultra, is the format, the aspect ratio. Here you simply specify, for example, 21:9 or 16:9 and so on. And in the old models, I think with Pro it was still like this, you actually had to enter the number of pixels. So now it's a bit easier. Yeah, so what did I do now? I set up a small dedicated Airtable here. I meticulously entered all the specific prompts I had used back then into this comprehensive database. I specified the format. Of course, I could use a different format now, but I'll just stick with this portrait format. And that's what I used back then as well. I've already tried the first one, which is why it's turned off. And then we have these 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 images here that we're going to create now, and we'll also put them into a Google document. And the scenario looks like this. I set the API keys here for Flux and for OpenAI. Then I read from this Airtable using this use column. So that's this column where we have this checkbox here. With use equal to 1, we read in the prompts up to a maximum of 25. And when I run it, it iterates through this entire scenario as many times as it finds prompts. Then we write the prompt into the document. That means we simply append it here, carefully integrating it with the specified format, ensuring all necessary details are included. Subsequently, we proceed to call the powerful Context Pro service, utilizing our unique and secure API key. This key grants us access to its advanced functionalities, allowing us to precisely pass it the meticulously crafted prompt, the carefully defined format, and the desired output format, all of which are crucial for achieving the intended result. And in the description it says that the speed is between 4 and 8 seconds, but for some reason there seems to be a problem with that in the last few days. That's why, even though I normally only wait 15 seconds, I had to increase it to 45 seconds to make sure the image is actually fully generated. Then, With getResult, I query using the ID, and then we add the generator name to the document and then the image itself. And a small note. Using sleep here is, of course, let's say, not very professional, because actually you should be doing all this with a webhook. That means that I basically give the webhook to the image generator and then I get notified when the image is generated. Or if I do it the way I am now, I would have to keep polling until the status is actually set to ready or generated and only then download it. So using a sleep here, well, let's say it's a workable workaround, but it's not really perfect. All right, then we have context max. That's all identical except for the fact that it says max here. Everything down here is the same. Then for GPT-Image 1, we need those precise descriptions. That means I created them so that if it's 9 by 16, then it's 1024 by 1536. That's also what will always be selected in this demo case. The call here is basically trivial as well. Basically, you have the GPT-Image 1 module, the prompt, also here JPEG, and then this format here. With GPT-Image 1, it's synchronous. That means the scenario simply pauses here until we get a response. That's of course quite convenient. We don't have to use a workaround like the sleep here. Then we upload the whole thing to a temp directory from Zero Code Kit and then also insert it into the document. That's it. And yeah, I'll just let it run now. And there's not much to see here right now. On the contrary, we actually have quite a long wait time now. That means it's now running through all three 9 times each. So we have about 9 minutes here, 9 minutes here. And here it's a bit faster, but not much less. So it'll take about 20 to 25 minutes for everything to finish running, and then we'll see each other again. In the meantime, we're done, and the scenario has almost completely finished running. Unfortunately, there was an error with the last prompt during the last generation. However, this wasn't caused by the scenario itself, but simply because my computer turned off its monitor and somehow thought I wanted to stop the scenario. So it actually paused the scenario at that moment, which led to this error here. So I'm just going to do the following now. I'm going to proceed with deactivating these 2 specific routes right here, which are currently active and need to be taken offline. Once that's completed, I will then navigate back into this area, and it's this particular intricately carved marble statue positioned prominently right here, that one, which is the focal point of our attention. And then I'll just let it run one more time, but only for this one prompt with the GPT-Image 1, so that at least for these 10 prompts in total, we have the results from all 3 generators. And then we'll take a look at them together in a moment. With this little special case, it's now finished running completely, and now let's just take a look at the results. So, image generator comparison. This is the fisherman, and here always in the order, Context Pro, then Max, and then GPT-1. Yeah, that's quite an intense look the boy has. He looks a bit sad. And Image 1, yes, it certainly does look much more like a beautiful painting indeed. What do we have next? The Viking warrior tribal panther makeup, red on black, and so on. Serious eyes, detailed skin. And here you can see that Flux Context has somehow already incorporated this panther makeup into the image. Yeah, the ears here and also the whiskers and the nose, that's definitely not a Viking warrior. This one is more like it. However, he has these weird horns, so it's a bit odd. Yeah, and this one, he kind of looks like someone at a carnival. So what else do we have here? 3D rendering. Human body, transparent skin, structure inside, organs, and so on. All in black and white. Yeah, it's a bit strange what's visible on the head. Otherwise, it's really just the bones. Yeah, that's actually more interesting because you can also see this other kind of rendering there, and yeah, it's not transparent at all. So that's not true at all. Cuisine. A woman wearing a dress made of pizza lying on a table. So a dress made of pizza, okay, but she's not lying on the table. This one is lying on the table. Yeah, that looks better. So Flux Max is obviously pretty good here. And what else do we have here? It's not really clear. There seems to be a table here, and the dress also doesn't really look quite real. Okay, what do we have next? It's an endless staircase with books and some kind of character. So some figures and the steps. Okay, no figures. The figure or the person is walking up there. Yeah, okay. The characters are missing here too, but there are plenty of books. Yeah, and this here, as you can see, it's not a photo, it's more like an illustration. So then the lonely astronaut, isolated on an icy planet, a world with 2 prominent moons and a gigantic gas planet that unfortunately can't really be clearly seen here. Snow coat, rocks, and so on. That looks pretty good. Yeah, here at least we have 1 moon and a gas giant. And here we have 2 moons, a gas giant, but somehow in a weird formation here. The staircase. A bit strange here with the railing. And here on the right is a second part. So this doesn't work at all. That already looks better. Yeah. The lava golem. It's just a simple drawing, nothing more than that. Yeah, that already looks a bit more realistic. Yeah, hard to say which one is the best in each case. Here, the Hadrian's head, okay, that really looks like marble here. That's also pretty good. It just looks a bit different, okay. And finally the hamster. Oh, that's good. Pretty bloody, yeah. That's also more like a plush toy again, but it does look a bit, yeah, bloody. Okay, so we can see that image generation keeps advancing, yeah. Which image is the best in each case, that's something you'll have to decide for yourself. I'll make the document available for download. And what really is easy to see is that the quality of these images keeps getting better, and also the alignment with the prompt and so on. That's actually pretty cool by now, I have to say. And I'm curious to see where things will go from here. So have fun watching and see you next time. Bye.